A state of emergency has been declared in Canada's Northwest Territories due to hundreds of wildfires, and Yellowknife, the capital city, has been evacuated by road and air. In Yellowknife, over 20,000 people are being warned to avoid fast-moving flames as more than 230 fires burn the region and smoke spread south, affecting the air quality in the U.S. About half of the people who live in this isolated territory, which is east of Yukon and north of Alberta, are concentrated in Yellowknife. There is no other way to characterize the situation in the Northwest Territories, Premier Caroline Cochrane said in a statement Wednesday night. We're all tired of the word unprecedented, yet there is no other way to describe this situation in the Northwest Territories, she added. The Ingram Trail, Detta, Cam Lake, Grace Lake, and the Engle Business District are now the areas with the highest risk, thus residents there should leave as soon as possible. Other residents must leave by noon on Friday, August 18, 2023, according to a news release issued on Wednesday by officials in the Northwest Territories. Officials stated in the release that the community of Ndilo is also under an evacuation order. Those who are unable to leave by car can sign up for an air evacuation, according to officials. If you are able to evacuate by car, Cochrane advised, obey all traffic control devices, emergency management personnel, warning signs, and posted speed limits. Don't take any hasty actions that might endanger others. Driving out of the Yellowknife region might be dangerous due to the dense smoke and fire. Nadia Byrne described her evacuation as the most horrific experience she's ever experienced, saying, "There were patches of flames on each side as we drove through." Along with 4 companions and their dogs, Byrne departed Yellowknife on Tuesday night despite having difficulty breathing and seeing. We came upon a section of the road where none of the markings could be seen. 45 minutes passed during that, she stated. We struggled to breathe while wearing our N95s, and our chest and lungs pained. The following morning, she claimed, the gang successfully arrived at their destination. Municipal Affairs Minister Shane Thompson stated, "We find ourselves in a crisis situation, and our government is using every tool available to help." On Tuesday, Thompson declared a state of emergency for the whole territory, allowing authorities to access and deploy resources so that we can continue our work to protect residents and communities in a more efficient manner, he said. As the fires grew closer, the mayor of Yellowknife also declared a local state of emergency. According to officials, the flames were less than 10 kilometers from the town on Wednesday night. The fresh evacuation orders follow the weekend placement of an evacuation order for much of the South Slave region, including the town of Hay River. Town officials said on Facebook that roads leading from Hay River to the Alberta border and west to Yellowknife were also closed. The circumstances have rapidly shifted. The fire has come within 10 kilometers, 6 miles, of the community due to strong winds. Hay River is expected to be affected by the fire this evening, according to a Facebook update posted by Northwest Territories Fire on Wednesday. Crews who were in the fire's path are repositioning to assist in other areas and pulling off for their own safety. According to the Canadian government's Northwest Territories Fire, a team from Alberta has been sent to the Hay River region to drop fire retardant to aid in containing the blaze. The agency continued, sprinklers and structural safeguards are in place and operational, other operations will proceed as soon as conditions permit. The Northwest Territories Administration has recently redirected South Slave evacuates to a new site in St. Albert, Alberta. Initially, they were instructed to report to a receiving center in Grande Prairie. The Moon's little explored South Pole is where India's third lunar mission plans to land a lander and rover on August 23. The lander started its final stage of the mission on Thursday when it separated from the propulsion module that had been bringing it near to the Moon. But if a new Russian mission beats Chandrayaan-3 to the South Pole, Chandrayaan-3 might not be the first to set foot there. Chandrayaan-3 will have to settle with coming in second place if the Russian spacecraft, which is doing its first moon trip in nearly 50 years. When Russia was still a part of the Soviet Union, is successful in landing softly on August 21 or 22 as scheduled. But after the US, the former Soviet Union, and China, India will still be the only other nation to make a gentle landing on the Moon. The landing module was expected to descend to a slightly lower orbit following a deboosting scheduled for 4 p.m. IST, 11:30 a.m. British Summer Time, on Friday. The Indian Space Research Agency, ISRO, announced on Thursday. On August 23, it is anticipated to start its final descent in preparation for landing on the Moon. Luna 25 was launched by Russia on August 10, but, thanks to the far more potent Soyuz rocket, it quickly escaped Earth's gravity and arrived in lunar orbit on Wednesday, according to the Russian space agency Roscosmos. The Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft was launched on July 14 but made several Earth orbits before entering lunar orbit on August 5. Since then, the spacecraft has been circling the Moon in preparation for the landing. There has been talk of a mini space race between the two moonbound spacecrafts, though, that there will be a new meeting point on the Moon and that it is not a race. An ISRO official assured me that the organization has never participated in any race since its founding in the 1960s. We designed the mission based on the spacecraft's readiness and the technical window that was open for reaching the far side of the Moon. A long time ago, a mission called Luna 25 was planned. They must also have certain technological considerations, about which we are unsure. The third mission in India's lunar exploration program, Chandrayaan-3, is anticipated to build on the accomplishments of its predecessors. It was launched 13 years after the nation's initial moon mission in 2008, which showed that the Moon has an atmosphere during the daylight and that there are water molecules on its dry surface. After 14 months of marriage, pop singer Britney Spears and her husband Sam Asghari have reportedly separated, according to U.S. media reports. In 2016, the couple met while filming a Spears music video. In June 2022, they got married in a tiny but celebrity-studded event. Through her therapy for her mental illness and the end of her conservatorship, Asghari, 29, helped Spears, 41. However, stories about their marital issues have been widely reported in U.S. tabloids. Spears and Asghari's representatives have yet to respond. Asghari had filed for divorce, according to a person who verified it to the Associated Press after the news was originally reported by TMZ. While Spears was filming the music video for her single Slumber Party, the Iranian-American model and fitness instructor got to know each other. He was instrumental in her battle with her father Jamie over conservatorship, appearing on Instagram wearing a Free Britney t-shirt before a vital court hearing. In September 2021, Asghari asked Spears to marry him at their house. The couple announced their first pregnancy together while still engaged, but then revealed there had been a miscarriage. Paris Hilton, Madonna, and Drew Barrymore were among the famous people who attended their small and opulent wedding, which took place in the superstar's Thousand Oaks, California, home. However, the couple was most recently seen leaving their wedding bands at home. Spears hasn't commented on the alleged split on social media yet. After the news broke, she merely mentioned her plans to get a horse in her most recent Instagram post. The split occurs just as Spears gears up to release her memoir, The Woman in Me, in October. Previously, she was married to rapper Kevin Federline from 2004 to 2007, and her childhood friend Jason Alexander for 55 Hours in 2004. She and Federline are parents to 2 kids. A teenage girl from Ohio was found guilty on Monday for deliberately driving her car at 100 miles per hour into a brick wall in order to kill her boyfriend and his buddy. She acted in a deliberate, systematic, and purposeful manner. This was not driving recklessly. Judge Nancy Margaret Russo of Cuyahoga County referred to Mackenzie Sharilla, 19, as having committed murder. After being convicted guilty of 4 counts of murder and additional charges in connection with the murders of her lover, Dominic Russo, 20, and his friend, Davion Flanagan, 19, Sharilla sobbed. The July 31, 2022 wreck in Strongsville, roughly 20 miles south of Cleveland, was decided by the judge alone. There was no jury in the case. According to the local news source Cleveland.com, her conviction carries an automatic sentence of life in prison with the chance of parole after 15 years. The chilling and tragic surveillance footage that captures the moment Sharilla accelerates on Alameda Drive and rams her Toyota Camry into the wall of a commercial building was deemed by the judge to be the most important piece of evidence against Sharilla. This kind of evidence is irrevocable, according to Russo. She was on a mission, and she carried it out expertly. The goal was to die. Sharilla's transformation in the video, according to the judge, from a responsible driver to a literal hell on wheels was evident. Sharilla, who was 17 at the time, used the same remote path to plan the crime a few days prior to the early morning crash, according to Russo. Cuyahoga County prosecutor Michael O'Malley told reporters that Sharilla wanted to kill her boyfriend, with whom she had a turbulent relationship, and that she took the life of his friend as an afterthought after she was let out of the courthouse in handcuffs while sobbing. Without a doubt, the relationship with Dominic was the reason for this, and the defendant had every passenger in the car with her in her attempt to stop it, according to O'Malley. Sharilla was unconscious and confined inside the wrecked automobile while Russo and Flanagan were pronounced dead at the site. According to Cleveland.com, Sharilla's lawyer, Jim McDonnell, maintained that the prosecution had not shown that she had purposefully crashed the automobile and not just lost control of it while driving negligently.